Hello, everyone. Excuse me. I hope everyone's doing well. I already recorded this video and forgot to read the poem, which is undoubtedly the most important part of a writing video. So, this month is Women's History Month. So, we're going to be talking about, well, me, myself, and I, we are going to be talking about Black women all month long. Okay, and that's it. Nobody else, just us. You know. So I was supposed to record this video last month because I wanted to compare these two movies because I've always wanted to watch the original 1976 Sparkle movie, and I just never got around to it. And I was like, I kind of want to see it because I was just interested in it. I thought my mom had seen it, but she hadn't, so that was interesting. But yeah, I was telling her about it the other day, and then I saw that they had made a remake. So I was like, "Ooh, I wonder what." I was gonna make it like a comparison, like I did the Superfly videos, or the Superfly video. But I didn't get around to it last month, so we're getting around to it this month. And my last video, my original video I made for this, was too long, so I'm gonna try to cram everything in, and with the poem. Okay, so let's get started. So the original Sparkle was created in 1976, and the cast is Irene Cara as Sparkle. Let me tell you the basic plot. Okay, it's based off the Supremes. Now it's very loosely based off the Supremes, but it's a sister like trio. Like a little girl group, doo-wop. Supreme style group. And their rise to fame, but there's some snafus, and I will be sharing some spoilers, so spoiler alert. Okay, so she it says she's the star of the trio, but I'm gonna have to disagree. But she ends up becoming solo. That's why the movie's called Sparkle. I mean, it's inevitable. Okay, so Philip Michael Thomas is Styx. He's a manager of the girl group. He's Sparkle's love interest. He was in the group. They were like I forgot what it's called when there's 5 people, like a quintet. That's what it was. Okay, Lynette McKay plays Sister Williams. She's the lead singer of the group, but she has some drug issues, so she can't be in the group after a while. And then something happens to her. But we're going to talk about that. Dewan, I don't think I'm saying her name right. Her name is D-W-A-N Smith. Is Dolores Williams. She's the middle sister. And she leaves, but we'll talk about that. Mary Ellis is Effie Williams, the mother of the sisters. She's also a maid to a white family, which is talked about in the movie. Dorian Harewood, I couldn't get his name right in the first movie. He's Levi Brown. He's Styx's cousin, and he is the love interest for Sister at first. Tony King plays Satin Struthers. His sister's love interest, like she ends up going to be with him, but he's abusive. So, and he's like a drug dealer, I guess. They say gangster, but same thing. Anyway. So, I'm going to talk about my pros, my cons, and my overall thoughts. That's how that's going to go. Pros. Sister, she was the real star before her addiction. She had the look, the charisma to really be a great lead singer. And she seemed like the only one who was bold enough to really put herself out there. I wish they had gone more in depth in her character, and she had made it. So, spoiler alert, she dies. They don't really... I feel like it's going to be a part of a con, but they don't really talk about like why she died. It's just she pops up dead in like a scene. I mean, like it's her funeral. You know what I mean? But she was the actress who played her. What's her name again? Lynette McKay. She was really great. That's one of the highlights of both of these movies. The person who plays Sister does a really great job. The music. Although I felt like some of the performances were very long, I felt like maybe that's a thing because I was watching, I was watching The Supremes the other night, and when they were performing, it kind of just, they keep performing, but the camera would like turn to black. So maybe that's just a thing that they did back then. They would just fade out and just keep singing. But yeah, it seemed kind of long. But I liked it. I still enjoyed it. Especially some of the songs have been covered and continue to be loved to this day. Like we know In Vogue covered Giving Him Something He Can Feel. You know, different people have covered it. And Curtis Mayfield, he did a great job on composing and producing the music for the film. I felt like it all worked. It was all great. I liked it. Effie Williams, the mom was such a breath of fresh air sometimes because things would get dark. And then she was there, and I feel like besides Sparkle and Stick, she was the only character that had more development than the other characters. And I like that she was there for her children and encouraged them and tried to help them. I feel like she was a great character. I just really liked her. Even though, you know, she was a maid, she had to do what she had to do. It wasn't the most glamorous job, but, you know, she took care of her children, so. The costumes. Oh, I love the costumes. Except for, they had this performance where Dolores and Sparkle were wearing gray, and then Sister was wearing gold. I didn't really like those dresses, but besides that, I really love the dresses. I love how they had Sister in something different in the first performance. It shows she was born to be a star, which oh no, I'm not going to put that as the screenshot for this video, but they really had some really nice outfits. No, I'm thinking of the new movie. See, I can't even remember. But yeah, no, Sister had some really great outfits. That's another, I want to mention something. It's not really like a super con, but they don't give Sister her name. She is just Sister. I just thought that was really funny. Even though the rest of the outfits of that performance, I didn't really care for it. It was like they were wearing like red sweaters with like, I think, polos underneath it. Everybody else, when then Sister was in this black dress looking all sexy and stuff. I didn't really care for those outfits, but it really showed the dynamic of the group and the potential of what could have been. Because Sister, if she had survived, that would have been really great. The cons, the characters, everyone was pretty much underdeveloped. Even Styx and Sparkle, who were like most in the movie, they didn't have much depth to them. Like the obvious conflicts of Styx leaving and Sister doing drugs was never really dealt with very deeply. Which it wasn't. It was kind of like, that's another thing that I'm gonna have to talk about. It's like my next 2 points. My computer going off. That's kind of my next 2 points. So I'm not gonna go too much into it. Also, the Levi situation is not very explained very well. Although he did get caught because Dolores had slept with, I guess, Satin's like right-hand man, and he told her where they were gonna be for like some drug stuff. So he got busted because he came there instead of Satin. But they don't really explain it. They just like show him in jail after that. And Satin, thankfully, he gets beat up by Styx because he thinks Styx ratted him out, but it's really Dolores. Yeah. And then you just don't ever see him again. That's it. They're just like, yeah, we beat him up. That woman beater's gone. That's it. Yep, that's basically it. Dolores, I understand why she left. Because, you know, she snitched on Satin. But then she gave her mom this speech about wanting more and not just being a maid and working for white people. And her mom was like, you know, whatever you're running from, it's gonna be there wherever you go, you know. And but I do understand there wasn't much to do in Harlem, I guess, at the time. So I understand why she left. Another con was the plot/story. It was so patchy and disconnected, especially since the beginning was pretty straightforward and coherent. But after that, it was choppy and jumped all over the place. It wasn't a cohesive story when put together. Oh, bye. That's my mom. She leaving out. I don't know where she going. Especially when Satin, Dolores, and the mob financial stories weren't really fleshed out. When I say the mob, I mean the mob. I don't know. So they had gotten some financing to help with Sparkle. So after Sister died, Dolores left. Sparkle, she finds Satin, and she wants to become. Well, her mom encourages her, like, you know, you're still young, you can still sing. So, you know, Dolores, I mean, not Dolores, Effie, the mom, has, she works for the white people, so they help finance him, and the guy has people financing him. And they don't, and he says that they're like bad people, but they don't really explain it. And then the ending scene, like they have Sticks in the car with the guy with the gun, but I guess the gun is empty, but he's like shooting it. I guess he's trying to intimidate him, and they just let him go, and he ends up being there in time for like Sparkle's performance. It's really weird. They don't really explain it. Um, yeah, okay, so I explained that part. The pacing. So in the beginning, there was so much exposition. It was just them with Sticks, her with sister with Levi. It was like some filler stuff, and then they rushed through the middle. Yeah, so I just felt like it was too much exposition, and then they rushed through the shows, which I kind of get. Like you do a montage of the shows, that's fine. But then they rushed through Sister's Addiction, which I think they should have spent the most time on. And in the last 20 minutes, you get to see Sparkle become a star after who knows how long, because Sticks comes back to Sparkle. Oh yeah, no man. In the first movie, Sticks comes back for Sister's funeral. See, I'm getting the movies confused. So was he only gone a few months? Was he gone a few years? I mean, Sparkle confirms that she was like, I thought I couldn't live without you for weeks, months, minutes, or something like that. It's dramatic. So I'm assuming it's been a few months. So I'm not sure about the time frame. They're not sure about the time frame. So that was a thing. And then another con was actually Sparkle, the main character. I didn't believe she had the confidence or star power to make it big on her own. She only got confidence to sing when Stick sings with her. You want us to believe the shy girl just got up the courage? I don't really believe it. And I don't think when I saw her performing, she didn't have the charisma or the sex appeal of Sister. And I know this is based on the Supreme, so maybe they were trying to do like a coy thing. Diana Ross was kind of like supposed to be coy or whatever. But she's unbelievable as a superstar to me. Sister was the real star, but Sparkle helped her to her eventual demise, their eventual death. Shake my hand, because she did give her the drugs a lot of times, which I'm like, this character is like pretty squeaky clean. Where is she getting these drugs from? And why Sister can't get no drugs if she's a drug addict? But anyway, okay, my overall opinion, I would give this movie a 5 out of 10. Mainly the music is what saves it, and the charisma of Sister and Effie as a wonderful mom. I don't believe Sparkle would have had the confidence enough to go solo. The pacing and the story are uneven and rushed at times. Some plot points are just dropped without resolution. Just dropped. Like the Levi one, which, I mean, Sparkle does visit him in jail, and you see him with Sister's picture, and you could tell that she told him, but but then Satin's dropped. The mob story, I don't even know. And then Sticks and Levi were creepy because they were very sexually aggressive at the beginning of the movie, so I didn't really like them at all. They were like in the car. Levi and Sister were in the car, and he was like trying to kiss her, and she was trying to talk, and he was being a little aggressive. It was weird. I didn't like that. And then Sparkle was trying to get the laundry, and then Sticks was up at the roof, trying to kiss her and stuff. It was very weird. I didn't like that. And the acting was mediocre and melodramatic at times. Would I watch it again? Probably not. I think Dreamgirls is a better story based on the Supremes, and I might be biased because it is one of my favorite movies. I have not seen I heard it's coming out, the Broadway plays, but only in the UK. I wish they would come to the America, open up in America, but I think that was better put together overall, even though that one was more literally like a ripoff of the Supremes. Like, they didn't want to make it subtle, but these two made it subtle. But yeah, I feel like it had potential to be a classic, but the pacing and the story made it not stand up to similar movies. So that's the old one. So Sparkle was remade in 2012, and it was executive produced by Whitney Houston. I didn't get the directors for either movie, but the cast Jordan Sparks is Sparkle. Whitney Houston is the mom, Emma Anderson. She's very strict. She's very religious. She made me mad some of the movie, but you know, of course, she comes around. So, but Whitney Houston was really good. Derek Lucas Sticks. Now, in I thought it was funny. In the original description of the character, Sticks has like a whole line of like, oh, he's Sparkle's boyfriend, manager, da da. In the new one, he just Sticks. They don't have any elaboration. I thought that was funny. Mike Epps is Satin Struthers. He is a comedian. He's like basically a coon comedian, and of course, he's still abusive. But he gets what he deserves. I'll talk about that. Carmen Ejago. Her last name is Ejogo. Iago. She's Tammy's sister. They actually give her a name this time. Her name is Tammy, but they call her sister. She is divorced and she comes back home. But once again, spoiler alert, sister's still the best character. Okay. Tika Sumpter is Dolores / D. They call her D. She's the middle school sister and she wants to become a doctor. Okay. So the pros, oh my gosh, I loved the costumes. Again, the black, red, and white diamond dresses were cute. Were so cute. I loved the wigs they had too. It was kind of like a diagonal bobs. It was very Supremes-esque. The long black and white dresses were more 90s, but I still liked them a lot. Although I feel like they could have been. And now that's another thing. It says it starts on 1968. They also have another time issue with this movie. We'll get into that. But I feel like it was really beautiful. The long black sparkly dresses were very beautiful. All of them got to wear a unique dress, but still look together as a group. I'm gonna make that the thumbnail, that picture, because that's on like the actual DVD, the movie cover, movie poster is the black dresses, so you'll get to see that. But I would say for both movies, look at the costumes; they were really good. The story was a lot more linear. Now I will say it is long. It's like almost exactly 2 hours long. So I mean, they had 2 hours to get it right. So, some parts were rushed, but not as much as the original. It made sense in the way that things happened. It wasn't jumpy, and it kept your attention. The characters are a lot more distinct and unique. They have more depth to them than the original. The late, great Whitney Houston was a very great matriarch, which is one of the standout characters again. And Sister, another pro. In both movies, Sister is always a standout character despite her issues and her abuse. Carmen E., because I can't say her last name, she really put her foot into that character. She was really good. She was scarily believable throughout the whole entire movie. Like, I was like, this woman is really drugged up and drunk all the time. She was really good. She did a great job, and she's even more, Sister as a character is even more strong and unique and a standout in this movie. The cons. Now, so they have a scene where Satin Struthers is like in a diner with, I guess, his entourage, and Sister's on a date with Levi, and Levi pulls out like a box, but it's not a real ring in it. It's like a printout, which it's like a cutout from a magazine, because I don't think they had printers back then. It was a cutout of a magazine. And Satin says, oh, you're trolling. Did they say trolling in 1960s? In early 1970s? I don't think so. And then he says, I'm not going to hold you, which sounds very modern to me. So that kind of took me out. And then Terrence J's character, it might just be Terrence J. He just looks out of place. I don't know. But he says, even though he says he's like a DJ at the beginning of the movie during the talent show that Sister sings in. And he says, if you're excited, say, oh yeah, which I don't know why. Because, oh yeah, I'm sure it's been around for centuries. But it just sounded really modern to me. It could be Terrence J, and I'm just thinking of Terrence J like on 106 in Park as like a host. So I'm thinking of him as him. So that might be why. So it might not be odd, but the trolling and the I'm not going to hold you, especially the trolling, yeah, that was weird. Levi, I felt like in the remake he was like a throwaway character because he, of course he loves sister, but he gets dumped, I guess, in both, but he really is dumped in this one because Satin actually brings a ring to sister and she accepts it, and then they get into a fight, and then I guess, and then technically Styx tells him, "Hey, it's business, you know, dealing with Satin," and so then so then he gets kicked out of the group basically, but and then after he gets dumped, he comes back years later, and so Satin is doing a um, comedy show, and he is bombing. Like he is doing two thumbs down. He is really bad. And then I keep calling him wrong. Levi is in the crowd heckling him, but Levi has a new girlfriend. So I'm like, why does he care? So they just brought him back just to heckle him, and then Satin tries to fight him, but he gets kicked out, or not kicked out, but he's like, I guess his bodyguard or somebody. I don't remember what he was. Part of his entourage, but he's always there. He breaks them up and he takes Satin outside and they go home and stuff. And yeah, he just seemed like a wasted character. And then he had a reason to be absent, but I feel like they could have just didn't even have that character. I just felt like it wouldn't even have mattered. Another con, R. Kelly did do some of the songs of the movie. Of course, back then we don't know as much as we do now. But if that is something that would bother you, I can understand skipping this movie because he wrote and produced some of the songs. But just a warning. Sparkle's solo career / Sparkle, once again, another con. Some of it sounded too modern, so I was wondering if this was supposed to be set in the 70s in the movie. They didn't really specify the time period at the end of the movie. Once again, what is the time period? I'm assuming it's the 70s because it started in 1968, but now I will say Sparkle did have some cute outfits. When she was waiting in the Columbia office for, I forgot the guy's name, but the exec that the group had tried to get signed, but then the guy who they're trying to get signed to, they caught sister with the drugs, so then the deal was off. But she started staying there every day in the lobby, and she looked really cute, but it looked like 60s outfits, but it could also be 70s outfits, but they don't really have a specification of time, so that was another thing with the time. I did like the song Love Will. Of course, R. Kelly wrote it. So it seemed modern and time appropriate at the same time, which is weird. Also, the One Wing song, I didn't think it would get her a record deal. I think it was too Christian-y for like a second. Not saying, now I know at the time, like Aretha Franklin had a really great Christian album, I think in the 70s, with Amazing Grace. So maybe it was a crossover. Maybe they were in the crossover, era. I don't know. But it didn't really seem like it would give her a deal for me. She's not as unbelievable as the original. You do understand, like she's a good songwriter. Like she even has a conflict with her mom about the songwriting and stuff. And I do like that this Sparkle is more independent. She moves out. She gets away from her mom because her mom was really, hardcore. Like, y'all ain't doing this. And the mom used to be a singer, but then I guess it didn't work out for her. So now she just doesn't want to encourage her children, which did annoy me. But of course, like I said, she comes around. I feel like they didn't give her the best songs at the end. That's just me, because I feel like, I don't know if that would have really done it for me. I'm not a music exec, so take my thing with a grain of salt. Take my opinion with a grain of salt. She was more confident, but still hesitant. I still don't think either Sparkle were better than either sisters. Both sisters from both movies were hands down the best. So overall, I enjoyed this movie more than I did the original. I know it is a sin, but I did. LOL. Whitney Houston is a very great actress. I need to see more of her movies because I've been sleeping on her. I've been sleeping on her acting. Jordan Sparks was great as Sparkle in this movie because she brought the character to life and made her more confident. And made her more independent, have her own ideas. In the original, the mom encouraged her, but in this one, the remake, she kind of encouraged herself and pushed herself out there. Where am I? Once again, the story and the character writing was so much better than the original. Also, the wardrobe and the world seemed more authentic than the original. The original seemed like a 70s movies trying to be a 50s movies, and you could tell. Sometimes you could tell that. Like, if you watch, like, 70s movies, but they're supposed to be set some other time, it doesn't really look like the time it's supposed to be setting. It's like the 70s still, if that makes sense. Besides the slang, you weren't really taken out of the movie otherwise, because I was like, trolling. That was weird. I immediately made a note as I was watching, because I watched it on my iPad and I was typing it in my phone. I would watch this version again, but it is very long, so probably not often. I would give this one a 7 out of 10. So those are my reviews for the Sparkle movies. And now I'm going to read the poem I was supposed to read. And it's inspired by the song Jump from the remake, performed by Carmen E, since I can't say your last name, Jordan Sparks, and Tika Sumpter. I really liked it. I wanted to write based off a song that was not by R. Kelly. I almost did The Love Will, but then I was like, you know what? Jump is like, it's a cool song. So, it's called Caught Up. Could have been big, but life got you caught up. Could have been a star, but life got you caught up. Could have been successful, but life got you caught up. Could have been truly loved, but life got you caught up. Sister, you were a powerhouse, but if only you didn't let life derail all your potential. Sister, you were the standout, but life still stood on your neck. Your family tried to save you, but life had other plans. Life got you caught up, and you couldn't catch it, couldn't catch a break, couldn't catch good luck. You could have been somebody, not just a cold body, or a lonely body in a cell. But life got you caught up. Now we'll never see your star shine. Because sister, she was really the star. So yeah, this is my review of the Sparkle movies. Have you seen them? Will you watch them now? Oh, also, it's the new version, the remake, is free on Tubi. YouTube, if you want to watch like a official version, you do have to pay to rent or buy it. But at least 2 people, because I watched 2 different, because I wanted to watch the HD, because at first I watched one version. Somebody had uploaded the whole video, the whole movie, so you can watch it for free. And they have an HD version you can also watch for free. I will say, I don't know if it's because it was the 70s and they just were terrible at lighting, but the original was really dark. And I don't know if it's just because it was on the DVD that they ripped on the YouTube and the quality changed, but yeah. And then sometimes they had the crowd scenes and they were like, it was like weird how they were filming, and it was just didn't make any sense. But of course on Tubi they have the HD, clear, everything good. So yeah. Also, I just want to say, I had a roommate named Sparkle who was named after the movie. I felt like that was really cute. But yeah, if you've seen Sparkle, or if you want to see it, let me know. All right, I'll see y'all next week.